Okay, everyone, so for this video, I actually want to share something I saw today. The perfect embodiment of why so many people lose even when they catch a fantastic roll. Because we caught a phenomenal roll. We caught an absolutely unreal roll tonight. And it was shocking and kind of pathetic with what I saw. By the way, everybody, live streams, regular live streams are coming. We're going to be doing them every Tuesday. We're going to start off with this coming Tuesday. This one will be at 2 p.m. And this one's going to be a little bit of a special one that I'm going to do once a month, and I'll give you guys some more information as we go along, but I don't want to hold you up too long. So we caught an hour-long roll today, guys. Hour-long. It was actually over an hour. It's about an hour and 10, hour and 15-minute roll. And by the end of it, once it finished up, one of the things that absolutely shocked us was when it finally ended, nobody colored up. But then we looked up at the rail, and we realized why. Most people didn't win enough. Most people, almost everybody at the table, caught a once-in-a-lifetime roll for some players, and didn't win enough to walk away. They won. They maybe doubled up their buy-in or less, maybe tripled up. You know, maybe a couple people that bought it for like $80 had maybe 230 in front of them. A few people did book a win, and I'll talk about those. But yeah, overall, it was shocking to see how many people play without trying to win. Like if you catch an hour-long, heck, if you catch a 30-minute roll, and you haven't won a significant amount of money, then you're not playing to win. I mean, you don't have a win condition within your game. So yeah, let's take a look at what some of these strategies were. So what I've decided with the live streams, by the way, is once a month I'm going to do a special live stream. So for the next month, I'm going to do live streams Tuesday at 2 p.m. and we're going to probably start the craps tournament thing. If it goes well, then we'll continue doing it. If it doesn't go all that well, very successful after a month, then I'll switch it over to Patreon. Now, for the first one, it's not going to be a craps tournament. I would like to have 4 or 5 people email me, tell me they're interested in being the players, and we will do a craps game. I'll roll the dice, I'll give them a bankroll, so on and so forth. But this very first live stream, and one live stream a month, is going to be a charity live stream. And we will donate most of the proceeds. I have to pay taxes on it, of course, to a charity. And if you guys have any charities that are near and dear to your heart, please let me know. This very first one is going to be one that's very near and dear to my heart and my family's heart, something that affects us, and it's going to be a charity for autism. So yeah, this coming Tuesday, stay tuned, and please email me if you're interested in being one of the players. Now, let's look at some of the more successful ones, because like I said, 3 people did book wins. Now, I'm going to go in order of the smallest win to the largest win, and they colored up after a few more rolls. Like some people, when they book a big win, will play through 2 or 3 more rolls, 2 or 3 more shooters, just to see if anybody else happens to shoot for 10 or 15 minutes. You're not going to get 2 back-to-back hour-long rolls. It's just not going to happen. But you know, if you can catch 4 or 5, 10, 15-minute rolls, you can also make quite a bit of money. So the player that booked the smallest win, they basically, the way they play, they tend to play with improper bets, and they were starting on the $15 level, and it didn't matter what the point was because they were placing the point either on the line or up here. And then they would press as they went. First thing they would do with the 6 and 8 is just fix it. So if something hit, they would collect the $2 and go up to 30. Now, this player, they like to act like they're a big power presser, hardcore player, all that, but in reality, they're not. At this point, he would, same bet, probably the next 2 to 3 hits on the 8. Same thing, if the 6 were to hit, he would collect the $2. And then same thing, he would same bet the next 2 to 3 hits of it, or maybe the next 3 hits combined between the 2, before he would press one of them. And that's what's funny. Say an 8 were to hit, he would say, press it all the way, okay? Then, say a 6 would hit. He wouldn't press it. He would collect it. Like, are you pressing or not? And I don't understand why, at least small presses. I already collected $2. Why not the next time around collect a green and throw you in $2 and go up to 42, and then from there go up to 60 and so on and so forth. Basically the mid-press strategy. I don't understand why the player doesn't do that. And same thing with the 5 and 9. Oftentimes they will hit once, collect their 11, and then same bet it a couple times. With the 4 and 10, they have a tendency to get a little bit more aggressive from the get-go. They'll go up, and then the next time around, they will probably press it again. Same thing with the 4 and 10. So this is a player that had, a couple $100 buy-in, and they just came at just the right time. And, they ended up booking a win of a little over $1,000. So, not bad, but for an hour and 10-minute roll, it's honestly pretty pathetic. That's just, it's an insane length of time for a roll. So now let's look at the second biggest win and how they did. And theirs was very conservative, and yet it worked for them. So again, guys, please tune in for our live stream this coming one, Tuesday, 2 o'clock. This one is going towards charity. This is a charity that's very near and dear to my heart. And I will explain why during the live stream. And periodically throughout the live stream, I will going to give some facts about, this one, again, is going to be with autism. So I'll give some facts about autism that a lot of people may not know and throughout the live stream. But again, we're going to play a live game, answer any questions people may have, so on and so forth. So please email me if you want to be a player. And also email me if you have any charities that you would like us to do next month or the month after. We definitely want to be out there for as many people as possible. We want this channel to be devoted to not just helping people with gambling, but, do our tiny little bit to hopefully make the world a better place. So the second player, this was actually the shooter. And the shooter had an interesting strategy because they tended to go across eventually. They would actually start out with maybe outside, especially if the point started out as a 5. Right? And then slowly after 7 or 8 misses on the 6 and 8, eventually they'd start placing them. And they'd end up with a cross, 130 or 135 across. And that's where they would stay. At the end of the roll, they were still sitting on 130, 135 across. Where they were making their money was they were basically they'd started out with something like that, and then not too much odds, maybe 50 odds. Okay. Well, once they hit their first point, then after that, they would start doing something like maybe 50 odds with or $50 line bet with 150 odds. Then after they hit that point, then they started doing things like 75 with 200 odds. And then eventually, we're starting to look at stuff like this. Straight blacks with odds. And in an hour and 10-minute roll, you're going to hit a lot of points. You're absolutely going to hit a lot of points. So even though they were honestly making jack crap over here on the place bets, they probably made, for their place bets, they maybe made $500-600 off it. Because most of these, again, not, oh, I'm sorry, $1,500-1,600 or so. Excuse me, folks. I still got that little cold I caught. So they made a little bit off their place bets just by same betting because they're catching $35 per, more on the 4 and 10. So figure every 20 hits is $700. My apologies to everybody for that. In combination with the cold I caught and the allergies and the wind lately. Man. So, this player made most of their money on the pass line. Again, they probably made $1,500-1,600 on their place bets, but their place bets, especially starting out at the green, man, they could have made thousands and thousands and thousands, but they made their money off the pass line. And with their accelerating pass line, the payouts started getting pretty good. I mean, you're talking $200 pass line with, say, $500 odds on a 4, and they're getting paid $1,200. It's not bad. A $100 pass line and $300 on, say, a 5, and they're getting paid $550. And this player definitely hit 8 or 9 points at least. So once it was all said and done, this player booked a win of probably I was already off the table at this point when they finally colored up, but they booked a win of around $2,500 to $3,000 on probably a $500-600 buy-in. So yeah, they played differently, but it worked for them. Definitely played conservative. Now, the biggest win came from a player that started out also going across. Would always do the pass line with odds, but nothing super crazy, because he was like most of the major players, most serious players that are really trying to win money, and he's trying to make his money up here. And he's very aggressive at the lower end. He starts to get a little bit scared higher up, but he's very aggressive at the lower end, and he tends to funnel a little bit. Say a 5 hits. Well, if a 4 hits right there, he's going to take it all the way up. Let's go up to 40. Now, let's say a 5 hits. If he's already pressed the 4, he may say put it all on the 4. He's definitely been known to do stuff like that. Now, the next time a 5 hits, he'd go up to a quarter, and then either 35 or 50, but a lot of times 50. Now, if that 4 were to hit, he would throw in the vig for it. And since that gets paid 120, we'll pay 125 for 5. He tends to get very aggressive with the outside numbers at first. Now, once he gets around to about 150 or so, he's probably going to say bet the next hit of one of the two, especially if they're both up around that level. And he tends to power press, do a mixture of power press to mid press to power press to mid press. And but then he starts to get a little bit scared near the higher end. So about 30 minutes into the roll, he's got he's got thousands in Israel, a couple thousand in Israel. But at 30 minutes into the roll, he had this right here. He had a $750 4, and he had various other stuff. I think something very similar to this right here. So he hits something else, and he brings up his 8 to 600, and that's when I left the table for a little while. Had to go work on another table. And when I came wandering back a few minutes later, he'd gotten scared and he'd taken it down from 750 down to 200, and a 4 rolled. Instead of winning $1,500, he won $400. He could have been at table max. He could have been at $2,000, have collected almost as much as he collected off this $200 bet that he had come down to. And his next hit, and it did hit again, would have paid him $4,000. He also was at this level right here. Now, he did bring his 4 back up, so he came down and then didn't really win anything on the next hit because he was pretty much using it to continue pressing. He won a couple hundred. And this is where he stayed. For the next 25 to 30 minutes of the roll, this is where he stayed. Along with that, every time, he's one of those superstitious players, so every time there's a stick change, he turns his bets off. So he missed out on somewhere in the realm of $3,000 or $4,000 on potential payouts by turning his bets off during stick changes, anytime the dice went off the table, anytime he just didn't like the roll. So now this player booked a win of about $8,000. They should have booked a win of around $20,000 if they hadn't gotten scared, turned the stuff off, come down. Now, a hardcore mid-presser that transfers to a power press once they hit a certain level probably would have won on a roll like this around $30,000, $40,000. And other people, a power presser would have won $60,000, $70,000, $80,000. I've actually seen a power presser catch a very similar roll and win $70,000. Now, here's the thing. We had 3 people that booked a win. There were a whole bunch of other players on the table. Every single one of them continued to play afterwards because they didn't book a big enough win. If an hour and 10, hour and 15-minute roll is not enough rolls of the dice and hits on all the numbers for them to book a win, I am very curious to what is enough for them to book a win. There was one kid that his entire strategy was about every 10th roll, he would do a $15 6 or 8. If it hit, he would take it down. So he would take his $17 about every 10th, which he would collect about every, he placed about every 10th roll. It'd take 4 or 5 hits sometimes for it to pay off. So I think he hit that 3 times. Then he would do $50 or $60 in various silly hops. And occasionally one of them would hit, and it would be an 80 and down if he took his action down, which meant he got his $50 or $60 back plus 25 to 30 bucks, or 20 to 30 bucks. It was absolutely pathetic. After an hour, he had his original starting buy-in plus 2 greens. By the time the roll ended, he was actually back to even. He'd lost the 2 greens as well. His little silly hop thing is something I'm going to feature in another video as well. So yeah, there you go. This is like living proof of how people don't really think about their strategies and how they play. I mean, why can you catch an hour-long roll and not book a win? I mean, it's insane to me. It's just absolutely crazy. I just do not understand it. But everybody plays in a different way. So I hope you guys find this interesting, illuminating, enlightening, or at least just plain fun. We'll catch you guys next time. Bye now. Thank you everybody for watching today's video, and as promised, a little bit more detail on things that we are working on. So again, we want to continue trying to expand the channel. We're really hoping to be able to add roulette as soon as possible, and then some video keno, video slots, stuff along those lines. Unfortunately, it ate up almost all of our cash, paying off all of our bills during the month of January while we were down. And now that the holidays have ended, YouTube's payouts have dropped significantly. So we're kind of treading water here as far as all that goes. Do have a lot of things we want to add, though. Not just those things, those additional games, and hopefully some carnival games and such like that. But the live streams. The biggest problem right now with the live streams is with 3 jobs combined between the 2 of us, 4 if I include the 20 to 30 hours a week I'm putting into the YouTube channel. It's very, very difficult for me to have a day and time that I can commit to doing the live stream every single week, because we also have our very young child to take care of. But I'm trying to figure that out. I'm thinking it's probably going to end up being on Monday nights or Tuesday afternoons, or possibly both. I intend to do at least one live stream exclusively for our patrons, and then another one on the YouTube channel. So possibly both days. We also have a few other things that we really want to attempt to move forward on. I'm just running into either time or skill set issues. I do want to eventually have a website going for us. I did used to program websites over a decade ago. A lot of things have changed, and I just don't have that time. And not a whole lot of knowledge on the current state of building websites, hosting what sites can host, and how to build up the e-commerce stuff. So if anybody has any skill sets along those lines and would like to answer some questions or just help us out, shoot us an email, sincitylivingLV@gmail.com. Also, I really hope to be able to start adding some exclusive stuff from Sin City Living, logoed shirts, hats. I'm looking to get custom dice made, even custom layouts made, although those would be pretty expensive. But I know zero about e-commerce and drop shipping and anything along those lines. So if you have any skill or knowledge in that area, please email me. I would love to ask you some questions and see if you can answer a few to help me figure out how to get that going. Same thing with designing our logos. I had some logos designed, very, very small logos, unfortunately, not big enough to blow up to put on T-shirts and stuff like that. And again, I know I know nothing about logo design, graphic design, any kind of websites that could do it. I literally know nothing. So if you have any skill or knowledge in that area also, please email me, and you're willing to answer some questions, please email me and let me know. I'll admit I don't even know where to start as far as asking some questions, but I'm sure I'll ask a few, and that'll trigger a few more, so on and so forth. So yeah, there's that, and of course we do hope to continue to improve our AV setup, but I am an AV moron, so also right there, if you have any skill sets or knowledge in that area, please email me, and are willing to answer some questions. Please email me and let me know. We would love the help. Otherwise, again, thank you everybody for watching, and we're very excited to continue bringing you our videos. Bye now.